Ah, traveller, lean close and I shall tell you the tale of the Dawi-Zharr, the Chaos Dwarfs. Let your old mate, the Barbarian Librarian, and my trusted hellhound Tobias, look at that face, so handsome, tell you a tale of the Black Orc Rebellion. Please ignore Steve at the back, he just sits there being useless. I mean, a real waste of space. Let me know in the comments why you hate Steve too. Anyway, let's get to it. Once kin to the stout folk of the mountains, the Dowizar turned their backs upon their ancestors and bent the knee to a bull-headed god of fire and greed, Hashut, the father of darkness. In the ash-choked Darklands, where rivers run with fire and the skies are black with smoke, they built their hellish capital, Zharr-Naggrund, a colossal ziggurat, half temple, half factory, where slaves scream beneath furnaces and demons are bound in iron chains. There is no cruelty greater in this world than that of the Chaos Dwarf. Their empire is not sustained by their own hands alone. Their foundries are fed by slaves beyond counting, orcs dragged from their tribes, goblins driven in droves, men and ogres broken on the lash. Every hammer blow, every scream of tortured metal is bought with blood. Yet for all their sorcery and industry, the Dowizar are never content. They sought a slave strong enough, disciplined enough to keep the others in line, a breed of overseers who can both fight and enforce order. And so, in their pride, they turned to foul works of sorcery and science. From twisted rites and dark experiments came the Black Orcs. Bigger, stronger, tougher than any other greenskin, broad of shoulder, clad in iron, with discipline rare amongst their kind. To the Chaos Dwarfs, they had seemed the perfect answer, soldiers who would never falter, masters over lesser orcs and goblins. But there was a flaw. The Black Orcs possessed more than strength, they possessed will. And no chain, no lash, no demon-forged collar could bend that will forever. In secret, the Black Orcs whispered amongst themselves. They whispered, they schemed. Slowly they drew the other slaves to their cause. Orc mobs that hungered for freedom, goblins chittered with hope of breaking chains, and even hobgoblins, used to the open spaces of the steppes rather than this dark confinement, flocked to the banner of rebellion. When the signal came, the pits boiled over. It was no riot, no brawl, it was war. The Black Orcs led an uprising vast enough to shake the very ziggurat of Zharr-Naggrund to its foundations. The Great Rebellion had begun. Legends say it lasted weeks. Their furnace fell silent, the forges went cold, and Zharr-Naggrund itself shook beneath the fury of the greenskin horde. The rebellion struck in waves, crashing against the ziggurat. Tier by tier the slaves surged upwards, battering down gates, flooding across terraces. Each level became a battlefield, orcs smashing Dowizar warriors, goblins swarming like vermin through cracks and tunnels, Black Orc champions cutting bloody paths through iron ranks. Then the Greenskins sieged the Chaos Dwarfs' own engines of war. Siege guns thundered against their masters' walls. Demon-bound war machines spat fire into the fortress they once defended. The Chaos Dwarfs, proud though they were driven back, forced to retreat higher and higher into the great ziggurat. Outnumbered 100 to 1, with the enemy pouring through every gate and tunnel, the Dowizar faced annihilation. Without their weapons, without hope of aid, their end seemed certain. At that moment, friend, the Chaos Dwarfs teetered on the very brink of extinction. But treachery runs thicker than blood. The hobgoblins, sly and craven as ever, with an ancient desire to lord over other greenskins, looked upon the battle and saw their chance. When the Black Orcs' momentum was at its height, the hobgoblins struck, not at the dwarves, but at their supposed allies. They sabotaged the captured engines, cut down orc and goblin leaders from the rear and flanks, and sowed chaos in the ranks. Blades in the back, poison in the dark, 1,000 little betrayals in a single night. The tide turned in an instant. The Chaos Dwarfs, freed from their noose, surged forth. They crushed the rebellion in a storm of fire and steel. The streets of Zharr-Naggrund ran black with greenskin blood. In the end, the Black Orc Rebellion was broken, but not destroyed. Many Black Orcs fell, aye, but many more escaped, fleeing into the Darklands. There they founded tribes of their own, far stronger and more disciplined than common orcs. From that day forth, the Black Orcs became the mightiest of all greenskin breed, disciplined, iron-willed and feared. As for the Chaos Dwarfs, never again would they trust the Black Orcs in chains. Instead they rewarded the hobgoblins with the station of overseers, giving them whips and power over their kin. Yet do not think this made the hobgoblins equals. The Dowizar despised them still, using them as tools, mocking them as traitors. And the greenskin tribes they have never forgotten. To an orc or goblin, hobgoblin is a word that stinks of treachery, betrayal and cowardice, a curse spat with hatred. And so the Black Orc Rebellion passed into legend, a tale of defiance and treachery, of slaves who nearly toppled an empire. Some even whisper that amongst the rebels was a runt who would grow into the greatest of all greenskin warlords, Grimgor Ironhide himself. If true, then the rebellion's fires forged him into the terror he became, the scourge of the old world. But whether truth or tavern tale, no scribe can say. What is certain is this: the Black Orcs were born in chains, but their rebellion made them eternal. So there you have it, traveller. The tale of how the Black Orcs were born in chains, rose to break their masters, and nearly toppled an empire, only to be undone by the knives of their own kin. Remember well the lesson. In the Darklands, strength alone is not enough. It is betrayal, whispered in the dark, that can turn victory into ruin. So as long as Hashut's shadow looms over the east, the scars of the Black Orc Rebellion will never fade. So handsome.